I have to ask, with everything that you do you ever catch yourself, it's hard to believe, but do you ever procrastinate? And if you do, what do you do to get yourself out of it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I do many things. You know, I've got my own educational technology company. I do lots of biking. I run an institute at Stanford. I do my teaching. I'm actually on Twitter a lot. I do a whole bunch of things. You might think I'm a multitasker. I absolutely do not multitask, not least because I know from the research that's been done here at Stanford, a lot of it by my late colleague Cliff Nass, that shows that A, human beings cannot multitask, and B, the more you think you're good at multitasking, the worse you are at doing it. So I absolutely don't try to use this serial processor to multitask. What I do is I serial task. I will work exclusively flat out for periods of time. Now, they may only be 10 minutes, they may be half an hour, or they may be, recently I had to develop a whole set of 75 puzzles, a new set of puzzles for my educational video game that we launched last fall. We wanted to bring out a different version. I worked non-stop on that for 4 days. I didn't do anything else other than eat, sleep and bicycle ride. And my entire focus, everything else went to one side, was to get that thing done. And 4 days later, I had the 75 puzzles worked and tested and everything. And then I moved to something else. So what I do is I work very intensely and very focused for periods of time. It's amazed that friends and family are still by me because this is very focused and it excludes everything else. I must be really difficult to live with at those times, but everything gets excluded. I focus on it, and then there comes an end. Now, either because I've finished the job or I just get tired and want to switch and I'm really getting frustrated with it, then I'll switch and do something else. And what I've learned to do very efficiently is switch from one to the other. It doesn't take me more than a few minutes at most to switch from one to the other. The procrastination comes from recognizing that I need to make that switch. I'll keep going and keep going. I think, I want to do this other thing. I want to do this other thing. And I do find myself doing lots of other little things. I'll go and read my Twitter feed and things for a while before making the switch. So the one moment where I will procrastinate is starting something new, for obvious reasons. You've been in the groove, you've been making progress, and it's slowed down, and you've got to get in another groove. And I know that takes willpower and effort. And like everybody else, I do have a procrastination streak, but the only time it affects me is making that switch. Once I've done it, I'm away in that domain until I've either solved that issue or done it or completed it or got tired of it and need a break. And that I found works extremely well.
That's actually something that we talk about in this course, is just that idea of you don't need to use willpower all the time. You just need to put it one little place where you're getting that cue. That's where you need to be applying willpower. And that seems to be exactly what you do.
It is true that I'm fortunate to have been able to carve out a career for myself where most of the time I'm doing stuff I really want to do. So even though I might not want to write that blog post, I know at the back of my mind that the moment I get into it and have written the first sentences, writing that blog post will be the most important and most wonderful and rewarding thing in the world until it's finished. But then I have to sort of stop that and do something else. And that's when there's these hiatus moments when I procrastinate. It's the switching gears to something else that I find, I won't say I find it difficult because I've been doing it all my life, but you do need willpower to do that. At least I find I need willpower to do that. And if I'm not careful, it will just fritter away with social media or whatever.
I feel the same way in how I handle things. One thing I like to do is I think of my life as like this enormous funnel where there's all these things that are demanding to be done, but then only one thing can go through the funnel at a time. And so you just got to give it up and realize one thing is all you can be focusing on. And if you have that approach, it makes it a little easier to realize that you just can't do everything. You just do as much as you reasonably can.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I do is when, I actually just upgraded my computer system to a new Macintosh. The first thing I did was went into the system controls and switched off every single alert. I don't want visual alerts. I don't want noise alerts. I don't want to know if an email has come. I don't want to know if something's going on. I literally switch off all the alerts because I don't want things pushed to me. I want to go and find out things when I need them, because the last thing I want, if I'm in the middle of working on an article, say, is to have some little beep going off to tell me some emails has arrived. I don't want to know then, because that's a distraction. I want to be in the world of writing that article, because if you take this human brain and you put it into a problem, into a domain, and you set it free, it loves what it's doing. It doesn't want to give up, and it sure doesn't want to be distracted. And so I don't distract it. I just let it do what it does.